Are you feeling like your brain is in a midlife crisis, and are you constantly dealing with things like brain fog, forgetfulness, absent mindedness, or lack of focus? I want to tell you, first of all, that you're not alone. Today's video, I'll be talking about how you can make a few tweaks to your diet and to your lifestyle to make sure you're getting the nutrients that your brain needs, especially in midlife. A lot of research has shown the connection between our diet and our brain performance. It makes sense that whilst we can, let's make the effort to plan our meals and make sure we are including the right nutrients. Gone are the days where you take things for granted, especially when you're in midlife. You do need to make conscious efforts to include certain types of nutrients in your everyday meals or things you can easily buy to help to improve your brain performance. We do need our brain for, I'm sure we know this, we need our brain for absolutely everything. And you know what? In my personal life and also in my professional life, I know firsthand how frustrating it is to become forgetful. Those midlife moments, those senior moments where you are in the prime of your life, you're juggling your career, your family life, your social life, and you can't seem to just get things into balance, partly because you're forgetting things and it's making you feel quite anxious. Today, stay with me. I'm just going to talk you through some essential nutrients you should at least make sure you're having almost every day. But also, I'll give you some suggestions on how you can include this in your everyday life. Stay tuned and keep watching. First of all, like I said, there are some certain nutrients that we really need to make sure we're getting into our diet. The first of all, especially when it comes to your brain health, I know there are lots of several thousand diets out there. At the end of the day, you have to find what really works for you and what stage of life you're in so that you can adapt your diet to that specific need at that specific point in time. For example, if you notice that you really want to improve your performance and productivity and you're struggling to remember things, and it makes sense to just explore the brain healthy diet, those things you can eat to boost your brain memory. Obviously, like they say, life is in phases. You may find that another stage in life, what you really want is to maintain your weight. Another stage in life, you want to maintain your metabolism. Another stage in life, you want to control your blood sugar or your blood pressure. Obviously, there are different phases. And if you're at that phase where you really want to boost your brain productivity and performance, it makes sense to make sure you have these four nutrients in your meal. Omega-3 fatty acids, you want to make sure you have antioxidants, and you want to make sure you have healthy fats in your meal, but also B vitamins. And honestly speaking, if you can make sure you have a variety of food, you have a variety of colors in your plate, you eat a whole grain meal, you have a lot of legumes, lentils, fruits, and vegetables, you have a good mix of this, you'll probably find that you're actually meeting the needs. But sometimes you do need to make that intentional effort. Today, I will talk about at least seven foods you should have at least every week. Maybe to make it simpler, you could choose to have maybe one of these every day, but ideally you should have a few of these every day of the week. First of all, I'm going to start with berries. We all live in different countries of the world, and some countries may find it easier to get certain types of food than other countries. But certainly, if you're going to eat anything every day, at least a couple of times a week, it should be berries, strawberries, raspberries, blueberries. These are superfood. They call them superfood. They have antioxidants which help to reduce oxidative stress and reduce inflammation in the brain. You cannot afford to go by a week without having some form of berries in your diet. The second one is Like we talked about omega-3 fatty acid, and this is mainly found in fatty fish. I know a lot of Nigerian diet has got a variety of fish in it. We might be lucky with that, but some other countries are not really, don't have a varied fish diet. I would really encourage you, if you're in one of those that you're not exposed to having fish regularly, make effort to. And this can be sardines. You can find sardines anywhere, anchovies, salmon, mackerel. These are all fishes that have really good fats in them. And this fat we know helps to improve the volume of the brain, but they also help the blood vessels that bring blood into the brain to make sure they are intact. Now, the third one is leafy green vegetables, spinach, kale, and collards. These are vegetables that you should at least be having a couple of it every week. You can't afford to go by without having a green in your diet. These are packed with nutrient fibers, things that actually supply good nourishing nutrients to our body. A lot of these you can't get it as naturally as you will when you're taking supplements all the time. I do understand if you have to take supplement, but as much as possible, aim to eat this in your diet. And the fourth one is nuts and seeds. You can't go wrong with this, especially if you are eating the correct amount, which I sometimes describe as a handful every couple of days or every day if you can. Walnuts are very, very good. There are other types of nuts as well. Obviously, if you are allergic to nuts, then it makes sense to find alternative to nuts. But walnut, almonds, pumpkin seeds are very good because they supply you all those nutrients. They are power packed. Things like chia seeds, they are power packed. They've got lots of nutrients, especially antioxidant nutrients that can help to fight stress, oxidative stress in the body. Now, the fifth one is olive oil. Olive oil can be used to replace the oils that you use in your cooking. So they are very rich in monounsaturated fats and they're the healthiest form. And we know that our friends, our brothers and sisters who live in the Mediterranean use a lot of extra virgin olive oil. So I would strongly recommend that if you haven't used it, just try it. Try it in your salad dressings as well. They come up with lots of good stuff that helps our blood vessels work the way they should. Now, what about beans and legumes? Yes, this is again another important one. Beans and legumes contain a lot of nutrients that help to reduce inflammation in the body. They come with fiber, they come with protein, and these are all very good as they lay new cells in the brain. You can't afford to go by without having beans or legumes in your diet. And obviously, for me, I use a lot of lentil. And I have recently discovered that I can use lentil to make moi moi, which is fantastic for me because I also love eating a lot of Nigerian food. Now, the final one I would say is whole grains. Now, this may not be very easy to get for some people, but if you have access to it, I would strongly recommend that you include this in your diet. So things like oats, quinoa, and you might need to obviously explore with certain new things every time. So please, I have mentioned this 7 superfood. Go back, listen, and see what you can do. Now, the final bit of this video, I'm just going to talk about how you can incorporate this into your lifestyle. And I'll suggest at least 5 ways you can incorporate this into your lifestyle. First of all, meal prep. Cooking a batch of meal in advance. For instance, you can cook a batch of quinoa. I tend to do that. Cook a batch and it's ready to go. You can mix it into all sorts of different things each day and you can have a different thing every day. I mean, I really admire people who kind of cook for 1 week or 2 weeks at a go. And you may find that that's not your stuff. You like to eat different things every day. So you may find that just cooking a batch of your whole grains ready, then you find it easier. But try to choose whole grains, that have got fiber. So things like brown rice, quinoa, cook it in batch. And you may find that this comes really handy for you every day. Also, why don't you portion your berries? So buy a lot of berries, portion them into ready to go packs, and you can take that with you to work. Eat it, whilst you're waiting around in the car or whatever for your kids. Hand them to your kids, and it's quite nice. So meal prepping saves a lot of time, and it makes you become quite intentional when you're planning a brain healthy diet. Now, the second thing I do, and I would recommend strongly, is drinking your fruits and vegetables. Obviously, it's quite nice to eat them, but if for any reason you struggle, then I would recommend making smoothies. They are fantastic. You can pack different categories of things into one smoothie. So for example, this morning I had kale and apple and cucumber, and I included some ginger into my smoothie this morning, and it was fantastic. I really loved it. I loved the fact that I could have this on the go first thing in the morning whilst getting my kids ready for school. It is quite nice to just have a pack of fruits, frozen fruits or vegetables at home so that you can easily make your smoothies on the go. Now, the third thing is making snacks. To be honest, we all like snacks, don't we? Why don't you make yourself some portable snacks? Make a trail of nuts and seeds, pack them together into tiny little boxes, and even you can have some snack in your desk at work. Have a pack. Even something like dark chocolate is very good because it contains a lot of antioxidants, which are really useful, especially when it comes to our brain health. So it's okay to have snacks. Just make them healthy and make them portable. So that way you're not rummaging through the supermarket looking for cakes and biscuits and all these highly refined snacks that don't do you good. And the fourth thing I would talk about is maybe considering ready-made meals. We all like buying takeaways or giving ourselves a treat. Why don't you think about ready-made meals where you can buy from some of these companies that make nice healthy meals and choose the options that have those things that you don't readily eat at home. So it could be like salmon meals or legume meals, and just you know, buy them, put them in the freezer, and get it ready for eating whenever you're ready to. So consider ready-made meals. I don't think it's a bad idea completely. I personally feel that whatever you can do to help you live a healthier lifestyle that is sustainable for you is the way to go. And then finally, why don't you think about topping up your meals? Topping up your meals is, I think, is the one of the easiest things to do. So for example, when you're having your yogurts in the morning, why don't you top it up with things like berries? Okay, you can have a top up salad to your general meals. Again, making sure you have all these necessary ingredients is really important. We've talked about 5 ways of incorporating it into your everyday lifestyle. So that includes meal prepping, that includes making a smoothie, having portable snacks, maybe ordering ready made food, but also topping up your meals. I hope this helps and I hope it makes sense. If you have enjoyed listening to this episode today, why don't you subscribe to my channel and also share it with other people who might find this very useful to listen to? One person's life changed can change a whole family, can change a whole nation. So thank you for listening and stay tuned to my next episode. Or if you want to hear more about this, why don't you listen to my podcast episode and you'll find the link below in the show notes. Thank you. Bye.